When a test is conducted at a crime lab in Pennsylvania, who actually pays for it? I'm Jill Horner. This is Comcast Newsmakers. With me this hour is Pennsylvania State Representative Frank Farry. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about how crime labs work in the Commonwealth. There is a crime lab that's run by the state police, but then there are ones that run at a local level.
Sure. There is a state police crime lab, which is the central one for the state. However, a lot of the larger counties have their own crime labs to do their own work within their county. Obviously, it's a matter of convenience. It's also a matter of they can prioritize the cases a little quicker. It helps alleviate some of the backlog with the state police crime lab. So, these county governments have decided to invest their own county funds to develop their own crime labs.
So larger counties, Philadelphia, for example, would have a crime lab.
Exactly. And Bucks County's had a crime lab for a long time, several decades, but they just actually started to do toxicology testing in Bucks County. It started in January of 2011. So they really expanded their crime lab so they can provide more services to local law enforcement.
Now, you mentioned toxicology, and this is something that would be done in a variety of different instances. But let's talk a little bit about who actually pays to have these tests done. Is it the person, the person who may be charged with a crime that has this test done?
Unfortunately, in Bucks County right now, no, it's the taxpayers, and that's why I introduced House Bill 1769. The current law allows counties of the first and second class to charge fines or fees for the use of the crime lab as necessitated by the person that committed the crime. But the law doesn't allow a county, it's a 2A county, which is what Bucks County's class is, or any of the other smaller counties to actually seek reimbursement of these fees from the person that actually committed the crime. So here in Bucks County, they're going to do approximately 3,000 toxicology tests a year, whether it's drug, alcohol, whatever it may be, a case of DUI or somebody charged with a drug crime. And the people that are actually paying for it right now are the residents of Bucks County, the property taxpayers. So what my legislation does is it allows a county of any size, regardless of its county's classification, to be able to seek reimbursement of these fees.
How much does it actually cost to conduct one of these toxicology tests?
Yeah, well, the reimbursement would be, or the fee would be $125 per test. So, and it would be built into the court costs. The criminal defendant would be responsible for paying. So you're looking at $125 times 3,000 cases. You're talking obviously over $300,000 a year, which is a substantial sum. And we're basically letting it go by the wayside because of an archaic state law.
Now, you said archaic. Does this actually go back to the history of these crime labs, that it would have only been these larger counties, Allegheny, Philadelphia, that would have had these crime labs in the past?
Yeah, I think that, and I wasn't in the legislature obviously when this originally became law, but I think the mindset was that these smaller counties or even mid-sized counties would never have a crime lab. It'd be limited to the couple largest counties in the state. And therefore, nobody really thought, my county may one day, several decades down the road, have their own crime lab, so we should just make a broad base across the state. And I mean, that's something else I believe in. There's no reason to prohibit a county of any size if they choose at their local government level to make a decision in a direction. We shouldn't prohibit them from being treated any different than the larger counties.
So as it stands now, if you were pulled over for a DUI in Philadelphia County, built into your court costs, you would be charged with that toxicology report, but you wouldn't be charged with that amount of money in Bucks County?
Correct, because the current law does not allow Bucks County to seek reimbursement for those expenses and fees. So, that's an area. I mean, there shouldn't be a lot of controversy with this legislation. It's very common sense, and quite frankly, it's pro-taxpayer, because right now the taxpayers are funding the testing of people that commit crimes, and there's just not a lot of logic there. If you commit the crime and you're responsible for it, it shouldn't be on the backs of the taxpayers to pay for your toxicology testing.
And where does this actually stand at this point?
Right now, the bill's been introduced. When we're back in session later in the fall, I'm hoping to move it through the committee process. It's in the Judiciary Committee, so hopefully it moves through the committee process. I'm really hoping there's not a lot of opposition to it because just quite frankly it's common sense. So if we can move it through the committee process, I'm hoping it's something we can have a floor vote on sometime later this year.
And just a few seconds left, but as a county would create one of these labs, they could come on board with this if it does become law?
Absolutely. Legislation allows any county that has their own home-based crime lab to seek reimbursement of these fees.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you.
We've been talking with Pennsylvania State Representative Frank Farry. I'm Jill Horner.